Hey, I'm Guy.
I'm John.
It's our YouTube channel. Subscribe to it and give this video a like.
Podcast below in the description. Check that out as well.
We're sponsored by Tito's Handmade Vodka.
#1 vodka in America. Go make yourself a cocktail.
Savor responsibly. Last week, UCLA won, and there's some people, if you follow the Pac-12, that were spent more time complaining about the Pac-12 North going 1-5 as if divisions matter. Like Clemson has shown, have a great team or two, and that way depth is overrated. Depth in leagues is overrated. Have a couple of great teams. That's what. Now, ideally, you have great teams and you're deep, and your great teams beat other really good teams. That's the ideal. But that's not the first step you need to take. The first step you need to take is have Oregon do what Oregon did, which was beat Ohio State, and not just beat them, but look like the better team, control the whole game, take several punches and respond and win. And UCLA against LSU pushed them around too, and both times, both teams were more physical. So, I mean, that's far more important. Two teams have established themselves as the two best teams in the league. Surprise, surprise, it ain't SC again. And that's far more important than Washington just because somebody thought they were going to be good. They're not. They're clearly, they got some problems on offense if you've watched Washington.
Issues.
Oregon looks legit. And UCLA, they'll play Fresno State this week. They look pretty damn good. They both look legit, I think. I think it looks real on both of them. Now, it's incumbent on those two teams to beat all the teams they're supposed to beat. Because if they beat the teams in front of them, they do play each other, which could be sweet, then they're golden. Then it doesn't matter that their opponents aren't ranked or that somebody's 2 and 3 when they play them. It's irrelevant if they play the way they've each played the first 2 weeks. We spent a lot of time on the West Coast saying we need somebody to step up and win one of those games. Well, UCLA did it last week. Oregon did it over the weekend against Ohio State. And so we got it. So I don't care what – I mean, I care, but like Cal lost to Nevada or the league went X and X.
And TCU.
Yeah, sorry, I meant TCU. The league went X and X. Okay, well, you need a couple of great teams first and foremost.
Well, I think the SEC is a great example of that. This year, it looks like if I don't know what Jimbo's quarterback status is, but clearly the backup is a little questionable.
Oh, my God.
So they clearly have some talent, but if the backup quarterback is that, they could be screwed. The SEC's got two teams who are dominant right now. Alabama's on a completely different level, and Georgia is elite. Other than that, like I don't think Florida's as good. Missouri, Kentucky, Tennessee sucks. A&M, like I just said, their quarterback position. Ole Miss, we'll see. Like they're really a two-headed monster, and most years they're a 2 or 3-headed monster, and that's fine. But you need the ass kicker, right? Now, ideally, you'd want like Ohio State and then like 5 sweet teams. Your bottom feeders, no one even gives a shit. But I think the Pac-12 at this point will just take what would they do to get that Oregon-UCLA game, both teams undefeated. Oregon going down there to the Rose Bowl. 2 top 7-8 teams. What would they do?
I mean, anything. They're praying right now.
Yeah,
I'm praying
That's
right
what you
now.
need. Yeah, we all are.
So
And honestly, about that game, what would be so cool, it's not just the Pac-12. It would be like Chip Kelly, who helped create this thing into a behemoth. Now they're a behemoth again, but he's resurrected his career. Like, that would be pretty fucking cool. Like, that's a pretty sweet college storyline, right? I know Chip would poo-poo it and won't care.
And so would
But it's
Cristobal.
cool. Yeah. But
So
I understand Mario doing it. Like, Chip, like, I'm sorry, Oregon put your ass on the map. Like, no one, including the players at Oregon, knew who the hell you were until Bellotti hired you from New Hampshire. Like that, Oregon did make that place. Like, even Mario, like, people in football knew about Mario Cristobal forever, right? The Miami, like, he's famous in the South, right?
Yeah.
As an assistant coach. Like, that to me, like, what's cool, hopefully, about this is, like, Chip is tied to Oregon, you know?
Right. But you don't need that's the beauty. You don't need the coaches to participate in the hype machine. They just got to coach the football.
I know, but it's got a chance to be pretty special. But it's got to play out that way.
John, let's tell the people about DraftKings. Promo code HAM. Click on the link. Get in our league down below.
How about wineaccess.com/ham? Buy $150 worth of wine, get $50 off, guy. $50 off, wineaccess.com/ham.
Oh, it's the good stuff. Right. And that's where, like, SC loses to Stanford. That's where losing games you shouldn't lose hurts, is when Stanford gets beaten badly by Kansas State and then turns around and looks like they always look against SC and kick their butt. And that's where the Kansas State game now really hurts you, right? So UW being bad twice really hurts you if they beat Oregon. But but not if that's Oregon's only loss, it doesn't. Not if it's Oregon's only loss.
I do think, though, this year, Guy, I'm going to put Oregon in a different tier than UCLA because I don't think they were struggling yesterday against McNeese State. Like LSU just might be average, even though I'm not diminishing UCLA. Like I know Ohio State's good. Like we just know for a fact. Like they're loaded with talent. They have elite players. They're a top 5 talented program in the country. And when the dust settles, worst case, they'll be like 10-2. You got to take care of business once you get that win, in my opinion.
Well,
like to really validate.
What other opinion is there?
No, I know.
You got to take.
I think
it's.
But I think you could. If we just talked it out, like you could have a loss. I think that a loss to a shittier team, if Oregon's like a 20-point favorite, would be a pretty big kick in the dick.
Yeah, but it won't matter in the end if you win the Pac-12. If you win the championship, you end up in the playoff. Is my point.
You think so?
Yeah, especially if Ohio State's good, because you got a bad loss, but you had a very good win, right?
Actually looks pretty good though. Is Iowa. Like, what if Iowa just is good?
God, did you watch any of that game?
They
did
were
look
kicking
good.
The shit out of them.
I know, but it's painfully slow. Iowa State. It's like there's
good.
The Big Ten, and then there's Ohio State Big Ten. You know what I mean?
Well, both those two teams' best player,
Tens.
their running backs are both NFL guys, so they hand it off nonstop.
You know what I'm saying? There's 2 Big Tens, and Ohio State doesn't play old school Big Ten. They play Ohio State Big Ten football.
But most of the other teams, Michigan, Iowa, right, Wisconsin, play Big Ten football and do it well. Like I watched Michigan and went like, this works. They're gonna
but it's got to work against
9
Ohio.
Games.
Yeah, but it
won't work against Ohio State, but it's going to work against a lot of teams. Because the 2 guys that talked after the game were just the 2 running backs.
Oregon can sometimes play down, and so that's where UCLA. We'll see. I mean, we haven't seen UCLA in the spot under Chip, right? Chip historically at Oregon he was supposed to kick your ass. He kicked your ass. I don't know that. We'll see. Oregon to do it without their two of their 3 best defensive players was. Their quarterback was actually better than his numbers too. Anthony Brown, I thought was really impressive.
But they did it. I mean, it looks different because they run a spread offense, but they dominated. How many yards did the kid have running the ball?
150? No, but he had like 200 total catching. He had almost 200. 195. CJ Friedel, I think, had total yardage.
That guy's pretty good. I was impressed.
Yeah.
Who wasn't?
I know. They looked good. The true freshman tight end has actually scored one of their touchdowns, which I didn't expect. But to beat down Kayvon Thibodeau and Justin Flo, 2 of their 3 best players on defense,